What's up, kids? Blacky Black Metal back again on this raging weekend of August 3rd. I'm sorry, 3rd, 2013. All right. Once again, I just finished a. Oh my God! It was such a. Oh, it was a douchebag festival today. Boss is being such a total douche. Just oh my God. Like, and on top of it, dude, okay, let me say this. It's nothing worse than somebody saying they're gonna like give you some money or pay you for something and you have to ask them for the money for it again and again. They say it and then they don't give it to you, and it's like to a point where if you don't irritate the shit out of them about it, they'll literally walk away from the day without having given you the money or whatever. So anyway, needless to say, I went through that with somebody today. It was kind of a lame idea, and it's even worse that dude had the audacity to get mad at me about irritate. I mean, I'm like, why am I having to ask you about it? You know, what the hell? It's nothing worse than that. All you people out there who do stuff like that, like tell people you're gonna do something and turn around and like make them have to beg you to do it, you're a piece of shit. You need to change your ways. It's not them, it's you. Let me clear that much up. Anyway, I'm actually digging on some Japanese metal right now, and it's, don't get me wrong, some of it is absolute ear garbage. I can't even lie about it, but I love it just because it's metal, but it's like it's purely about, you know, the emotion, I guess. Oh, well, did I say that? Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that really. I mean like in terms of you know how like we're speaking English and they love metal, like they love metal that's in English, like, and a lot of them I'm sure can't speak English, but they get it, you know what I mean? Like they're total metalheads in just the same way, like they're banging their heads on the same rhythms, everything. But anyway, that's kind of how I've always felt about Japanese metal. Some of it is really sick though, so they have some really good guitarists, really, as far as their old school kind of stuff. There's this one band I like back in, I still like them now, but more their older stuff. Japan X. The song right here is Deering Gray. Clever Slezoid is the name of the song. I mean, just weird. I mean, Japanese translations and stuff have always been, you know, a mess over here. So some of the names of stuff is just really off the wall stuff. But I mean, it's because they don't speak English, so they just take the English words that they like and make names with it. You know, it's kind of funny. But anyway, that was one of their songs there. But I'm kind of stuck on that one song there. I was playing it back and forth to work past couple days. But anyway, a lot of Japanese metal is really good. You should look into it. It's not to say that you know, there aren't a lot of different non-American or European acts that aren't good. It's just that of what I've heard, I don't know, it's just something about the Japanese metal. It's just always been kind of, I don't know, it's just really like it's so thrash, it's so like, I don't know how to say it really. It's almost like it's just the closest to what I'm, you know, used to, I guess. Like it's the closest thing to, you know, like if you've been watching my videos, you know, I'm totally speed metal, black metal primarily, of course, black metal, but that style of you know, fast guitar, dual guitar, double bass drum, that kind of blast beats, that kind of thing, has always been my taste as far as metal goes. And the Japanese do one of the best jobs of capturing that essence of metal, more or less. What can I even compare them to? Japan X or yeah, Japan X is probably one of my favorite ones, or X Japan, however you want to say it. Like they've been identified as both names. in their existence, but they're one of the essential. If you're gonna start with Japanese metal, don't even start with the more current stuff. You know what I mean? Like, don't start with the stuff that would be popular now and would sound more like our metal. You know, like start with their old school stuff. They had Japan X was more or less a hair metal band from Japan, but they really were the sickest, like one of the just technical bands that I've really ever heard. Their drummer is like this, virtuoso, like right there, on up there with the likes of really, I don't know what other. I think Alexi. I'm sure he plays other instruments, but like that, like Alexi's total Alexi Cradle. Not Cradle, but Children of Bodom, the lead singer, guitarist for Children of Bodom, Alexi Leo, is probably one like that kind of stuff. Like that's what I'm comparing it to. Like if you know what I mean as far as your flavor and metal, like this right here is Japan X, but they're really like awesome. Fast drummers. Yoshiki, the drummer, is also a pianist, and he does like these really dramatic. Now don't get me wrong. I know in the late '90s we had this real big blowback thing with the symphony metal stuff. Some of that stuff is awesome. It really is. I don't see why there's metalheads. You can't listen to the same kind of metal all the time. You got to listen to different stuff sometimes, and sometimes that symphony stuff is sick. And you got to look at what metal is in its heart. A lot of people get metal confused with American rock and roll, which was highly influenced by basically jazz or blues or whatnot. In the early 20th century, that's the rock and roll that kind of crossed over culturally in our country. It's something that's American made thing, but metal at its essence is European classical music. When you listen to it, in the classes I had, college and everything, I really got a taste for it, and I really could see the metal influence. I could really see how Bach's fugues sound like metal when you really sit and listen to them. Like you can really see how more or less, especially like the English stuff, what am I trying to think of? The Iron Maiden, like the stuff that Metallica was highly influenced by. Priest even, that brand of that European or British heavy metal, as it was called at the time, was highly influenced by classical music. I really feel like there's not as big a tie to that American blues jazz origin of American rock and roll as there is. And metal is something I feel like that's purely European in origin. It is. It just that's where it is. It's not something that came from the jazz stuff. It came more from. I feel like the guys just took basically classical music and put it on guitars, or played it with guitars. Look at one of the most awesome things I've ever seen online is Alexi and Root playing Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Is it 7 seasons? I forget the name. It's a Vivaldi, very famous Vivaldi piece, played on dual guitars. It is absolutely sick. If you haven't heard it, look that shit up. It's Alexi Leo playing Vivaldi, and you could really, get a taste of what I'm talking about as far as metal having a strong classical music influence. But anyway, as I was saying, the Japanese have really kind of jumped into that. They've really gotten to the heart of that metal sound too, especially Japan X and their old school metal bands over there like Loudness or Lunacy. Of course, tons of bands you never heard of because they're Japanese and they're old school Japanese bands. But anyway, take a chance. Metalheads, get out there and look up some of these Japanese metal bands. Like I said, if you're a metalhead, sometimes ear garbage is all right. You know, sometimes ear garbage is just totally how you like. You can't understand what they're saying, but you totally feel the music. You know, that's what I mean when I say ear garbage. Like, you can't tell somebody what it means, but you can totally, you know, bang your head to it. But anyway, Japanese metal is fucking awesome. Make sure you check out Deer and Gray, Japan X, Loudness, and what's another good one I listened to back in the day? Just awesome Japanese metal band. Luna Sea. Luna Sea was another good one. Hair metal. Japanese hair metal was way more thrash than our hair metal. I'll give them that. They really did play hard. It wasn't so much about, but they did get outrageous with the hair too. Let me tell you, you're gonna really see some really questionable looks in some of these videos. But anyway, I'll check you guys out later on with some more metal and shit, and enjoy the rest of my weekend, regardless of being irritated by my irritating job today and all the really silly douchebaggery that goes on out there. But that's every American job right now. Hopefully one day YouTube will fall in love with me, and you know, I'll work for you guys, and I'll shred and skate. That's another thing I'm going to start doing again. Is I bailed skating all the time. I suck, but I'm going to start skating again. I'm going to get me a awesome zero board here soon. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to check you guys out later. Blackie Black Metal, and I'm out. Good stuff, baby.